The age-old understanding that this is a dog-eat-dog world is a genuinely horrifying reality that people are so used to taking for granted that we just accept it. It is what it is. You know, we hear all the time that you have to do what you gotta do to get ahead. It's survival of the fittest, you know? If you take a step back, though, this viewpoint is borderline psychotic. You have groups of people hoarding massive amounts of wealth and resource while the majority are desperately trying to keep themselves from overdraft, and somehow this is all chalked up to try harder scrub. We have enough food, enough housing, and enough clothing for everyone in the entire world to live sustainably. This is a fact. It's a distribution problem, but this is a fact. But all of these essential items are considered assets, of course. They are distributed not by need, but by economic speculation for the purpose of wealth generation. This causes an insane overproduction of profitable items, such as cool new technologies and fancy coffee makers with fiddly stainless steel buttons and touch screens and Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, app subscription, etc., all that bullshit. And clothing with extra shiny embellishments in every color under the sun. Essentially all of the nonsense that no one needs but buys anyway because they think it'll help them express themselves, or will impress the people they care to be seen by. It also incentivizes the catastrophic underproduction of essential basic things that are unprofitable, such as local and accessible agriculture and food, affordable housing, and support systems that keep us from falling through the cracks. The things that are actually worth building right now, the things that need to be built, serve little to no return on investment at all. Of course, these companies that have the capacity to build these things exist to turn a profit for their shareholders, and the shareholders invest their money, of course, to get the ROI. Nobody is interested in investing in things that won't generate a return. It's a parasitic status quo in which the actual raison d'etre is to extract as much capital as is humanly possible from the economy, and then just to reinvest that capital into greater methods of extraction. But of course, there are two sides to this coin. We, as consumers, collectively have a type of Stockholm syndrome. We're the ones that line up in the cold for the new iPhone. We accept the newest, hottest garbage as if it will bring some sense of satisfaction. We allow ourselves to be swayed by marketing and subconsciously justify these companies' bad faith actions by continuing to refill on our Keurig pods. From my point of view, there is little to no reason for these companies to even exist outside of job creation. What use do any of these things actually have? The system we live in is fundamentally incentivizing the opposite of what we desperately need. I'll say it again, we already have enough housing to shelter every person. We already produce enough food for everyone to eat twice over. There are enough clothes in the landfill to clothe the next 3 generations of people. At this point, it's blatant disregard for human suffering to continue the way that we are. Not only are the products useless, but imagine all of the time that would be freed up for hundreds of millions, if not billions of people, by letting all of these nonsense companies crumble. The only reason we couldn't do so is because we need the jobs that these companies generate in order to keep from homelessness. Like I said, we already feasibly have enough for everybody. The safety net literally does and should exist. The methods for which are just tied up in the estates of wealthy hoarders and the portfolios of multinational corporations. If we didn't have to worry about going without food or ending up on the street, then maybe we'd actually care to work on the unprofitable but fundamentally necessary things. It seems like every single strategy that's been proposed for changing the world has only seemed to benefit those who wish to continue to live their lavish lifestyles while everybody else eats the bugs, you know? I'm sick of the idea that even as capable and advanced as we currently are, we waste the potential of the world by accepting the current dog-eat-dog world order of wealth and power, and even the concepts of wealth and power themselves. At this point, I think the most important thing we can do is to keep talking about these things so that we may all come to know that this world does not have to be a survival of the economically fittest type scenario. It even sounds like a fairy tale to try and say that we could all feasibly work together for the benefit of everyone. But we actually have no reason not to, and it's shameful that that's not our goal as a collective. As I see it, there are a few main things that stand in the way. There are the currently wealthy and powerful portion of our population who would oppose the changing of the status quo in an attempt to preserve their own comfort at everyone else's expense. There are, too, the burnt-out masses who just want to forget about the nature of our world by drowning themselves in entertainment and other coping mechanisms. And then there are 3, the quiet observers who know something has to change but just aren't sure where to start. And if those quiet observers started to speak up a little bit more, then, our voices would get a little bit louder, and each new person from the burnt-out population comes to realize that, oh yeah, we only really do have the one life to live on this planet, and we are destroying it. Okay, well, what can I do? Maybe talk to people about it. Maybe tell a friend about it. Maybe stand up for something, even just in small little ways. Maybe I should just fix my life. Maybe I'll start to live more simply so I can be an example for other people. Instead of waiting for somebody else to come along and try to fix it, talk to the people that you know and let me know in the comments if you have anything to add, or if you think I'm completely wrong and naive, you can feel free to chastise me there too. Thank you and good luck.
They be like, smooth, what? You teach me how to